Today, we're cooking and tasting airplane food from every country. And while some countries have amazing food, absolutely delicious.
That's actually excellent.
Others, well, it's so mid.
It's super mid.
It's boring. And for our first country, we'll be starting off in the birthplace of Pokemon, Japan. Okay, anyone who's flown on a Japanese airline knows that the food is really good. And the one dish you see all the time is Japanese curry. The dish is just as popular as sushi and ramen in Japan. I mean, there's even Japanese curry chains here in the US. It's kind of bizarre. In the 60s, the invention of box curry roux, like the one I'm making right now, took the country by storm, and it's now one of the most popular weekday meals in Japanese family homes. So of course, Japanese Airlines had to bring it on board. Our Japanese curry is ready, and I'm about to go board the plane so we can try this out. We have made it to our first country, and here we have Japan.
Should we start with the main entree, the Japanese curry?
Let's go ahead and try this out.
Oh, we're not cheersing?
No. Whoa!
That's so good.
The golden curry pack that I use, it packs all the flavor in there. The cabbage salad, we made it with a QP sesame dressing, which is the exact one that they use on airlines. Very simple. Shredded cabbage with some dressing. This is a lotus vegetable.
It always trips me out that this exists in nature.
I know. It's like almost artistic. There's a very dense vegetable. The best part about all of this is they serve Haagen-Dazs ice cream on the plane.
Oh man, that's so good.
So good, right? Brian, we're gonna be rating each country on a tier list. S being the best, F being the worst. What do you rate Japanese airline food on that tier list?
I'm not gonna go S, just because we have more to go. And of course, we have to agree, guys, on the rating. I'm gonna give it a solid A tier.
I was going S tier.
Okay.
But you're right, there's so many countries to go through. So let's go ahead and put Japan for now on an A tier and move on to our next country. Okay, now let's head to the largest and most powerful economy in the world, America. Okay, now we're traveling to the United States of America, and I know what you're thinking, hot dogs and burgers, but hold on. Back in the golden age of flying, the 1950s and 60s, American airline food was actually really fancy. I mean, they had full course dinners with real silverware and prime rib being carved right by your seat. But thanks to cost cutting, the food got worse and worse as the years went on, and now if you want a decent meal, you need to upgrade to business class. I didn't want to make some microwaved economy meal for you guys, so I made a salmon dish that would be typical on a long-haul American Airlines flight. But that's if you pay for the upgrade, of course. Brian, we are now in America, in the air. The food is not the best.
You gotta pay for it, man.
You gotta pay for it.
If you want decent food that's not like cafeteria, like
this type of food.
School, you need to pay for business class.
Listen, even in business class, we're talking about America here. The food isn't that amazing. At the end, you feel horrible about yourself. So let's go ahead and try this out and see if it's any better.
Well, listen, dude, you did a good job on the salmon.
Here we go. Not bad.
It could be better.
It's classic, but it's boring. Let's get the best thing on the plate here, which is the chocolate ice cream. The one thing I look forward to is the dessert.
It's always chocolate something.
It's always chocolate something. Brown, yeah, exactly. And it's actually really good. All right, Brian, I'm gonna go ahead and rate American airline food, and I'm giving this a C tier. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best, and it's so mid that I gotta go C.
It's super mid, and it's clearly a C tier for me as well.
I'm happy that we agree, and I'm happy that we're done with this. Let's move on to our next country.
Let's go.
Next up, we're headed to the country with the most World Cup titles, Brazil. All right, now we're in Brazil, and most people automatically think Brazilian food equals churrasco. And if you've ever been to a Brazilian restaurant, you know that they have the grilled meats on those giant skewers of really popular restaurants called Fogo de Chao. But here's the thing, Brazil is huge, and different parts of the country eat completely different. Carne de sol, what I'm making right now, is from the northern part of Brazil where it gets super hot and dry. And before fridges existed, people had to preserve the meat somehow, so they would salt the beef and literally hang it outside to dry. And it's a typical dish you'd have on Brazilian Airline these days, which is kind of neat. Brian, we're officially in Brazil, and I've never actually been to Brazil.
One thing I know about Brazil, they like to party.
Oh. They're the party people, man.
Carne de sol.
Carne de sol.
Not bad.
Oh, really good. It does have that like leathery texture.
It has a different vibe, right?
Also, they have fried plantains, which is my absolute favorite.
You find Brazilian, I think it's called afu.
The time has come for us to have the Brazilian cheese bread. We can't forget the dessert. It's the best part. Flan.
Damn. That's so good.
So good. We had to search high and low for this drink right here. Guarana.
Coranya, maybe?
Gorania. It has this like cherry lemony flavor to it. Absolutely delicious. Brian, I'm ready to rank this country's airline food, and I think I'm gonna go B tier.
I had a feeling you were gonna say B tier, my boy.
Whoa! How'd you do that?
We've just been doing this for so long.
We just like telepathically. All right, B
B-tier
tier.
for Brazil.
Let's move on to our next country. Our next country is home to the most wild tigers in the world, India. All right, we've made it to India, the most populated country on earth. They have close to 1.4 billion people that live there, and thanks to this, India has one of the most diverse cuisines in the world. One of the most popular dishes to come out of India is butter chicken. You can't make butter chicken without delicious garam masala. Usually this is reserved for special occasions like weddings or festivals, but it's also a typical dish you'd find on Air India. This makes total sense because Indian food tends to be super spicy, and I can't imagine that it lends itself well to flying. Butter chicken is more tame and is exactly the type of meal you want on a long flight to India. We've made it to India and we're on the airline eating some food that looks very familiar.
Familiar, but also unfamiliar, man. I don't have Indian food that often, so.
Let's go ahead and dig into this butter chicken. You've never had the palak paneer?
Dude, wow, Indian food is underrated.
It's probably some of the best food I've ever had. Look at us. We're sitting business class, eating butter chicken with palak paneer, having nice little fresh fruit on the side.
Guys, we're eating with our hands. We're in flight mode.
We're in flight mode. Brian, what tier do you put Indian airline food in? Go ahead.
It's not all the way up there. I like the flavor. It's a little too much, I'll be honest. On a flight, this is gonna be pretty heavy for me.
It's good, and it might make my stomach like gurgly wurgly.
I'm gonna give it a solid C tier because the flavor is good.
C tier for me was America. I think this is one notch up America. Would you agree? B tier.
B tier for India.
India gets B tier. Let's move on to our next country. The next country consumes over 30 million baguettes per day. France. The French are known for being decadent, and they make no excuse for it, even when on a flight. Doesn't matter if you're flying economy or first class, they take pride in their meals. They often have fancy chefs that design their menu, which probably explains why I'm using some actual beef chuck here instead of that weird mystery meat you might get on an economy American Airlines flight. It's been this way for decades. Even back in the 40s and 50s, Air France was the epitome of luxury, and its meals have always given them a competitive edge. And here's one thing we can't deny, that properly cooked food is a part of French culture. We are now in France, and in front of us we have an exquisite meal. We got some fancy cheese, which is pronounced
Camembert.
Ah, oui, oui. And here we have a delicious braised chuck roast on top of mashed potatoes, and of course,
Dude.
baguette.
I mean, French people are known for being very fancy and exquisite with their taste.
Yes. So let's go ahead and dig into our beef chuck here. Cheers. Wow, France, you guys just know how to cook, don't you?
Was this made by a French chef?
Oui, oui.
Dude, you know what they say about France? It's the
What?
most romantic country on earth, bro. You like, you know.
What are you trying to say here, Brian? Camembert.
Well, you're supposed to have it with bread, man. The baguette.
I love cheese that tastes like feet.
That's a very pungent and strange taste. For
Very pungent.
But it's good.
All right, I'm ready to rank France airline food, and I'm gonna give this a A tier. The chuck roast was absolutely delicious, fall off the bone. It's an exquisite meal. The cheese wasn't my favorite, but again, I think the chuck roast held it up, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this an A tier.
I would say borderline S tier. I might save my S tier, but I'm gonna say A tier with you.
A tier. Cool.
France killed it. This is delicious.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Let's go.
Next up, we're headed to the home of superstars BTS, South Korea. South Koreans are obsessed with one dish in particular, bibimbap. I know what you're probably thinking. This Korean dish doesn't come with ground beef. It comes with sliced beef. Well, on airplanes, they actually do come with some ground beef. On Korean Air, they basically serve this on every flight, and they've been doing this since the 90s. Growing up in Los Angeles, where Korean food is everywhere, this dish became one of my favorite. Bibimbap means mixed rice, and unlike most airline meals, it's meant to be interactive. You mix it yourself, control every bite, and somehow it still works at 35,000 feet. Okay, we've now made it to Korea. We got bibimbap, we got kimchi, we got some rice with some soybean broth soup. I mean, this is looking amazing. Let's go ahead and start with the bibimbap here. Cheers.
I like the sweetness of the beef.
I've never had a soybean broth with some cabbage. I'm actually interested to see what this tastes like.
Whoa, there's a lot of flavor in that, man.
A ton of flavor.
That's crazy.
And of course, my favorite kimchi. This is my favorite pickled food item ever.
I can't have it. I'm allergic to shrimp, and it's made with shrimp paste.
Absolutely amazing. We got traditional Korean beer. They actually serve this on the plane as well. So what do you rank the Korean airline food?
I mean, it's super tasty. I love the flavors. It's up there. I'm gonna go B tier.
I was thinking A tier.
I think B tier, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I agree with you. B tier it is. Let's move on to our next country.
Let's go.
This next country consumes over 3 million pizzas every single day. Italy. Okay, we've made it to Italy, and Italians are almost as serious about food as the French, maybe even more serious. That's why on almost any major Italian airline, you're likely to be served pasta. I mean, it's literally mandatory that the in-flight menu includes this. One of the go-to pastas for airline is ravioli, and that's because it holds up well when reheating. And even though there are 500 types of pasta shapes that come from Italy, it's not by accident they chose ravioli, and that's why I'm making it.
To my daughter's wedding and ask me a question like this today? Welcome to Italy.
We have made it to Italy, Brian, and in front of us we got ravioli, we got antipasto.
I think it's antipasto.
And then we got some cannolis, you know? We got this interesting drink. It's a limonata. Let's go ahead and try this ravioli. You know how you go to Olive Garden and they grate the cheese tableside? Wouldn't it be cool if they did it on the plane?
It would, yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and try this. Not bad. Antipasto, which is basically Italian salad.
What does that mean?
It's just we've had this before. It's it's kind of boring to me.
Yeah, the salad wasn't great. It's not my favorite.
Cheers.
Oh man, that's perfect, dude.
That's so good.
And after eating like carbs and getting all sleepy.
Yeah. My favorite part has come. We're gonna have the cannoli finally.
Let's do it. Italian dessert taco. Is that what that is? Man, that's really good.
Nothing beats a good cannoli.
Nothing beats a good cannoli.
Nothing beats a good cannoli. Sorry, Italy. I do love your food, but the airline food is just not cutting it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a D tier.
That's boring for me. I'm gonna agree with you. D tier.
D tier, yeah. Let's just move on to our next country.
Let's go.
Our next country produces a third of everything made on planet Earth, China. Chinese food is one of the most popular cuisines in the world. It's especially popular in the US. Other airlines try to offer it on flights, but they don't even come close to the real thing. Chinese airlines, on the other hand, have figured it out. Legit beef stir-fried noodles are often served on flights, and that's thanks to a technique called velveting. It's basically coating the beef in cornstarch, which helps lock in the moisture that would otherwise evaporate in the dry cabin air. It's also a saucy dish with a ton of flavor, and that helps with the loss of taste you experience at higher altitudes. We are now officially in China.
Other side of the world.
We got beef chow mein, we got some sauteed bok choy, apples, and a classic jasmine green tea drink, and of course, tangerine juice.
Tangerine juice is like really huge in China. They're the biggest exporter of tangerines and mandarins. Beef chow mein, let's go.
Beef chow mein. That is so good.
That's actually excellent, man.
And bok choy is probably my favorite vegetable.
Bok choy, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's really good, man.
Absolutely delicious. I still think Japan is a little bit leading here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a B tier.
What? A tier. This is an A tier for me. This is delicious.
I agree with you. I think it's delicious. Listen, I love chow mein. Are you kidding me? Like, beef chow mein, one of my favorite. But I'm comparing it to Japan. I mean, let's just think back to Japan real quick.
Oh man, that's so good.
So good, right?
I've had some time to think about it.
Thank you.
We can come to an agreement. We're putting China on a B tier.
For now, we're gonna put China on B tier and then move on to our next country.
Let's go.
Okay, now we're headed to the home of Harry Potter, the UK. The British get a bad rep for having quote unquote bad food. I know you've seen the memes and TikToks about them having bland, tasteless dishes. But the one dish British will defend till the end is their breakfast. A full English breakfast is the holy grail of British food. If you guys have never had baked beans, you have to try it because it's like an English classic. Even at 30,000 feet in the air, British Airways serves it on morning flights because it's that comforting to the people of the United Kingdom. But I get it, Americans see baked beans for breakfast and think it's insane, but for the Brits, it's non-negotiable, so we're doing it the proper way. Brian, we have made it to the UK, and in front of us we have an English breakfast with some baked beans, English tea, and some white bread.
It looks fantastic, man. Look at these mushrooms, man.
When it comes to breakfast, no one messes with the English breakfast. It's such a classic. These are called bangers, which is basically English sausages. They call them bangers. Yeah.
Can you say it in a British accent?
Can I get 2 bangers, please? Sorry if I butchered that, but let's go ahead and try this. I mean, Brian, if you've never had bangers, are you really living life? You know what I mean? Cheers.
Whoa.
Get the eggs.
Okay.
Get a mushroom.
Okay.
Get a tomato.
That's good, man.
So good.
This is weird, man.
It's not. It's really not.
Okay.
It's really not. They have a little sweetness to it. It's delicious. I think it's probably one of my favorite beans of all the beans.
Okay, dude.
Yeah.
We'll see. Whoa. Yo, this complements itself so well.
Man, the English breakfast cannot be beat. Where do you place UK's airline food on the tier list?
Dude, this is gnarly. So, I swear to God, this is not rage bait, okay? S tier, baby. This is so good. Every single bite is delicious. It's like Whole Foods. You know, it's delicious. This is fantastic.
If I'm in the air and I'm getting this, I'm excited. I agree with you. S tier. It's our first S tier out of all the countries, but we still got one more country left. Let's go check it out.
Let's go.
This next country is the birthplace of the most famous energy drink in the world, Red Bull. We're headed to Thailand. Everyone knows Pad Thai is Thailand's national dish, but what they don't know is that it was created by the government. Yeah, you heard me right. I said the government. In the 1930s, the Thai government created the dish and gave the recipe to street vendors all across the country. It eventually spread across the world, and it's now even served in the sky. When the Thai government created the dish, it was to promote Thailand, and I think it worked because Thai Airways have been serving this dish on flights for years. I mean, who doesn't love a good Pad Thai? Brian, we've made it to Thailand, and of course on their airlines, they're serving up some Pad Thai. We also got some sauteed eggplants here, dragon fruit, and Thai iced tea.
Thai tea?
Thai tea.
Let's go. I love Thai tea.
I love Thai tea. It's a bit sweet, but it's actually really good. Let's try this. Cheers.
Good old Pad Thai, huh?
Oh my God. And it's actually interesting that they serve up some dragon fruit.
Yeah.
Because this is called the nature's laxative. Having this on the plane is like, oh, that bathroom is wild.
It's like nothing.
It tastes like nothing. Let's try this Thai tea, huh?
Let's do it.
Dude, that drink is so good.
Whoa.
Right?
Dude,
Thai tea is so good. I thoroughly enjoyed this dish a ton. I don't know about having dragon fruit on the plane. Not the best idea in my opinion, but this is delicious. To rate this dish, I'm gonna go right to B tier. I think it's pretty solid, really good.
Okay, well listen, Thailand, the food is delicious. I love the cuisine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you, man. B tier, but we have a decision to make, man. Is the UK the only country we gave an S tier, the winner of the best airline food in the world?
It's kind of crazy that the UK was the only country we gave S tier to.
But when I think about Japan, I'm like, I don't know, did I overshoot it?
Thinking back to Japan.
Yeah, let's think back.
Okay.
Ready? Let's go. You gotta go in your mind and think.
They serve Haagen-Dazs ice cream on the plane.
These are called bangers. Can I get 2 bangers, please?
Whoa.
Brian, you come to my daughter's wedding and ask me a question like this today?
That's really good, man.
Look at us. We're sitting business class, eating butter chicken with palik paneer, having nice little fresh fruit on the side.
Okay.
I already made my decision.
Okay, on the count of 3, you have to say the winner, all right?
All right.
Here we go. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, dude. This is live, man.
This is live. We're not editing this. This is exactly what's coming out of our mouth. We are picking the ultimate winner of who has the best airline food.
Okay, here we go.
Go ahead, count down.
3, 2, 1.
Japan! Of
I
course!
knew you were gonna say Japan.
Of course, dude. Are you kidding me? The flavor was unbelievable. I've been on Japanese airlines. I actually really love it. I'm happy that Japan won. Let us know which one was your favorite country, and I'll see you in the next one.
Peace, guys.